pick up one, I would pick up a campaign for Mobile 8. That's the CDMA operator in Indonesia. We did a campaign last October where the whole idea was, in today's world, you got to have a handphone.
Right.
So Hare Gine, Tirapune handphone is almost like very embarrassing and things like that. And that really worked very well. And in the sense, what I mean is that that phrase Hare Gine was being quoted in various publications. People who were talking were using the word Hare Gine in that particular tone. So I thought that was very, very consumer meaningful, and it must have touched the raw nerve of the consumer, because everybody started using the same phrase, and that became a buzzword in some of the publications. Some journalists
people started sending
SMS and things. So I thought that was the best one. I think that was the best one so far, primarily because the consumers responded very, very, very favorably.
Now that you've brought up your agency from scratch to where it is now with 120 employees, what are your plans now? Do you plan to continue growing it at the same rate, or are you planning to branch out into maybe some different areas of maybe advertising or something connected?
No, you're absolutely right. What we are doing is we are trying to diversify in the communications business. Now we have a new division called Marketing Drive, and they are doing basically BTL and promotions. And they have been very successful in the last one year, in the sense that in a span of 1 year they have got into Unilever. They've got a lot of projects from them, Royco, Sunlight, Lifebuoy.
These are all well-known brands.
Well-known brands, and even from Kimberly-Clark in terms of Kotex and Kleenex and things like that. A bit of work with Kraft. So that is that's a division which has plenty of potential in the future. We have started our media department, which has its own planning tools, own research, and that's doing very well. It has some independent media businesses. Also, we have started a new agency called Interface Communication. That's again just 1 year old. So the growth rate of FCB might slow down a bit, but I'm expecting Marketing Drive, Interface, and our media divisions to grow.
Grow it much further.
Much further. That's the way we are seeing it. So.
Earlier, when I was talking to you, you mentioned that this is a great place for Indians to be and to work. Why did you think so? Do you still agree to that viewpoint? The reason my whole thing is, if you see so many Indians in Jakarta, and there has to be some reason why they're doing well. I would think 2-3 reasons why they do well, apart from the cultural similarity. I also believe one thing that works very well for Indians in Indonesia is the fact, this is what I've heard from other people, this is not my statement, that perhaps this is the only country where Indians are liked and respected, and I think that kind of motivates the Indian a lot. Do you feel that? Do you feel respected and liked here in Indonesia?
Definitely so. I mean, it's like you won't feel the bias here at all. If some people were to feel the bias in some other countries, I wouldn't say people will feel that bias in Indonesia. There is a natural affinity towards Indian. Is it because of historical reasons? Similar culture, similar food, language similarity. I don't know. Maybe a lot of things. So I think Indians, when they come to Jakarta, they realize that they can add value. Their output to input ratio could be much higher than other markets. I do believe that in Indonesia, the output to input ratio would be much higher compared to India. The same effort you put in India, what you will get out is much lesser. Here people tend to focus on getting the best out, Whereas in India, what happens, a lot of time goes into planning.
The mechanics. Being an Indian has helped him succeed here in Indonesia. So, Biswas, you mentioned that the Indonesians here, generally the people you work with, are very good at execution. And what you bring to the agency is your planning, analytical skills.
True.
Do you think that is, in general, the reason why Indians are successful in Indonesia?
I think the reason why they're successful, I guess, is they feel motivated working in Indonesia, and they feel whatever they're doing, it value adds to the company. I think these two are the primary reasons why they do well. It's just that the feeling that they're doing something good and it's being recognized by the company, and there's something positive which they can see. I mean, that's what motivates people, I think.
Would you think this is a nice place for other Indians to come in and work?
I would think so, especially the youngsters, who want to basically explore markets out of India, and try and do something at a very early age. This is a good place, You can experiment things, you can do new things, and figure out for yourself how those things turn up.
Do you plan to retire in Indonesia? Do you see yourself staying here?
Not really.
No?
But don't ask me where I plan to retire because I have no idea.
So what's your favorite destination, your favorite vacation spot, so to say?
Home.
And home is?
Home is where my wife and kids are.
What is the philosophy you live your life with?
Can do and will do.
Oh, that's nice. Something like Nike.
Well, no, not like Nike, but yeah, I think whatever has to be done, as simple as that. That's the way I live life.
Would you, off the top of your head, can you think of a person who has influenced you and the way you think? A mentor or somebody you read about?
I think it's my father. You know, I think...
despite the fact that he wanted you to do
exactly
science.
I think what he managed to achieve within his means is always amazes me, you know. I think compared to him, I do much less about life. I think that's my feeling, you know. And I always, when I think about father, I always think within his limited resources and everything, the way he managed a lot of things, you know, right from family to relatives to other things. Hats off to him. And if I can just achieve 10% of what he has done in life, I'll be happy.
Wow, that's one tribute to your dad. Yeah. If there would be a message you'd like to give to our viewers about being Indians, successful Indians in Indonesia, what would that be?
Try out new things, do new things. You'll have a lot of opportunities here, and grab the opportunities and do it. As simple as that.
That's nice. What do you do for recreation in Indonesia? Do you have any hobbies or anything others that helps you chill or take a break from your hectic work?
I love movies. I love reading, and yeah, spending time with my son and daughter. These three are my hobbies. What
movies do you watch? Do you watch Bollywood masala movies or the Hollywood?
Sometimes thrillers? I do watch the Bollywood masala movies, but what I get most kick about is your European movies, you know, be the Berlin Film Festival or the French Film Festival. I think they are quite different compared to Hollywood or Bollywood, you know. It's almost like we have a phrase that, you know, truth is stranger than fiction, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the way they depict truth is amazing. It entertains you much more than your Hollywood and Bollywood masalas.
I believe you watch movies early in the morning. The first thing you do is wake up and switch
Sometimes
on.
If I don't have a work and if I wake up at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6:30 is a good time to watch a movie. And 90 minutes is just enough right time, you know.
What about exercise, physical fitness?
Oh, I'm very lazy. I'm very lazy when it comes to physical exercise, and the only thing which I do is sometimes swim in the weekend, but otherwise nothing, absolutely zero. I'm a lazy person when it comes to those things.
Do you spend too much time at work? Do you spend a lot of time there? So you leave there at 7:30, you mentioned.
I try and reach home by 7:30. So I try and leave by...
So you have a 12-hour work day.
Exactly. That's the way I plan it out. And if there's some work, I'll take it home, you know, work in the night.
It has been a pleasure having you at our show today. And thank you so much for being here with us and telling us about your work and how you've brought the FCB agency up single-handedly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It has been my pleasure too.